Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to Flying with Mike. Sorry for that delay there. I was having way too many troubles trying to do the quick turn and decided slow it down, do it right, so that way we can get off on a good foot here. We are doing a second flight. Second flight is coming up in the chat room right now with the route. And let me put in some METARs for you so you have an idea. We're still in Destin, Eglin Air Force Base, Destin, Fort Walton Beach. I mean, let's put about every name in the book you can to this place. And we're heading over to Houston, Texas today. And actually going into Hobby. And I don't know if I've ever flown into Hobby. So this, I know I haven't on X-Plane. But I don't know if I even did it on FSX or prior versions to FSX. So what you have in the chat room is what we've got going on. We're going to switch gears and get into Sim Toolkit here. And after we do a quick hop up into the cockpit, hang on a second. I scooted my screen over just a tad bit too far. There we go. We're up into the cockpit. We're looking at the EFB. And you can see we have the ground power set and ready to go. Chocks are on, and we got our fuel packs and cargo ready to load. So let me just get back to the panel look, and then we'll swing Sim Toolkit in here. And let's get a quick pre-flight brief done. As you can see from the map here, the storms that we were worried about coming in to Destin and the tail edge that we caught coming in, they're now well offshore, pushing down towards Tyndall Air Force Base and Panama City. Actually, they're off the coast there as well. So we are actually hoping for a pretty decent flight here. So let's get up here and bring in the flight plan for the day. Hang on a second. I'm going to just switch into a different view of the overview here. There's the route again at the top. We're going to take off this time, runway 30, go in on runway 4 at lobby. You've got the information here. We're 84 feet above sea level. The runway heading is 300 degrees. Again, it's almost 12,000 feet long. Loadout for today. Loadout is 171 peeps, about 400 pounds, 200 pounds, sorry, of cargo. I was thinking the other flight. And that brings us up to a zero fuel weight of 57,406 kilograms, as you see on the chart. Ground crews are uplifting 7,262 kilos for our fuel. The run across to Houston will be at a cost index of 53, and we hope to get up, and we will get up to 36,000 feet. Looking on the right side of the ledger real quickly here, get caught up on some things. Here's our flight destination aircraft at the top. We're running with CFM engines. The air distance is 585 miles. Again, there's our cost index of 53, and our only flight level we'll go to is 36,000. Those of you interested in how the fuel usage and breakdown will be for the reserve that we put into the MCDU, it'll be 2.5, and I basically add these two numbers up. So that way I make sure by the time we get to Lafayette Regional that we have the 1,047 kilos on board. It's only a 30-minute reserve, so we're hoping to have the contingency as well. Okay, so, and that again is an uplift of 7,262 pounds. Quickly going down, here's our route to Lafayette, Elko 4 to the LLA VOR, and then into 4 right. And our route out of here again shows down here. Time-wise, we're looking at 2 hours, 10 minutes. We're hoping to shave it to 2 hours, maybe less. And our weight breakdown. Okay, and just a quick look at our charts here. Significant wise, we still have some CBs around that we may have to dodge. The jet stream's cutting across us midway through, and we have light turbulence up to 45,000 feet. So gives you an idea of what we're looking at and a visual of how our route is. So that'll wrap up the pre-brief. Let me get us back on track here to the cockpit, and we'll get set up here to uh, do our thing here in the cockpit. Pull the that one up and that over. Okay, so what we need to do is we are cold and dark from the reset, so we're going to quickly do a quick preliminary check, power up, and prepare the cockpit and EFB for the APU start. So for that, let's with the camera we're on, we're going to check some things here. The ground power is on. It's right here. You can see it's available, just not on anything yet. Down on the center console, we got the pedestal. Make sure our start lever is at normal. Thrust levers are idle, and that's this level here. This is not a Boeing where you have your reversers behind it and pull up. You go down here. I think there's a detent you click to go down. Engine masters are in the off position. Again, this start selector mode is in normal. Speed brake bugs me every time. It never comes up. Oh, it's armed. Hang on. There we go. And the flap lever is in the 0 position. Looking a little further back, parking brakes are set. Gear lever is right next as we go up. There it is in the down position. Now, how you can tell the batteries are not active? Because when you go up and look, it won't say off. It'll be blank. Look for your gear indications. If both of them are on, there'll be 3 lights here and probably powering this one up too. So as we move up, there's our wiper and the final checks here for the prep. Wipers are off. Okay, so that's the preliminary check. Let's move up. We're just going to go right up to the upper panel. We're going to power up. It's a couple of steps, piece of cake. We're going to turn battery 1 on. Now you see the off switch. Click that. And before we click the external power, now you see your 3. Now you know your batteries are on. Okay, and then you also saw some of what I call the Christmas tree beginning to light up. Your flash on your emergency handles and a few other lights have now come on. Once we click the big one here, external power, you're going to see everything light up. Again, these will flash and a lot of different lights are on. I like to go to our nav lights being on at this point. Okay, so we have powered up the aircraft, and all we're doing is waiting for our CRTs down here to come alive. They got a 40-second test that they're in the process of. It's going to say it again, and then they'll come alive. Come on, there they go, and they're starting to power up. We want to make sure these are on before we go on. Okay, so let's go back up to the top and make sure our lights are the way we want. Overhead lights are on. We're not going to necessarily turn those on. The dome is off. Okay, so everything else can remain off. We're going to come down to the middle and make sure that our lights are the way we want them. On both sides if you want. You know, folks, it's your airplane, however you want to do this. Okay, and then we're going to come down just another level. Get our ECAMs turned up all the way for me. That's my preference. Finally, floodlights, I'm going to leave those as is. All right, so we are powered up and lights are on. So let's head over to the EFB and make sure we're fueling and loaded. Okay, so we're at the electronic flight bag here. We're on the supply, which shows us that our external power we know is connected and that we have chocks. And what I like to do, as you all probably know if you follow Mike at all, I like to always visually make sure. And as you can see, the chocks are in. And as usual, the scenery is way off and put the jet bridge almost right into the wing. But that's okay. It is the flight sim. We haven't heard anything. Okay, so back over here. As you saw, the fuel truck is called. It's highlighted in blue here. The fuel load for today again is 7,000. Hang on, let me back out to it. 7,262 kilograms. There's our total load. We'll go over to the packs now. We're loading 171 peeps aboard, 200 pounds of cargo. Again, that should bring us up, and we're going to check on a different page, our performance data. That should bring us to when you add these up, should be 14,764 kilograms. Okay, and it did not, so stand by. That's why we check. 14, hang on, where's the flight computer? We need 200 more pounds of cargo. Cool. So what we'll do is go back to service, hit cargo, bring us up to 400. And set that. Now we'll come out to perf data, 764. And just making sure I didn't do a typo here, which that would never happen on Flying with Mike. Hang on a second. Looks like there might have been a typo. Certainly was. They're pulling that 200 pounds right back off. Okay, so we need to be at 14,464. 4 or 5? 564. Okay, so now we're correctly loaded. And let's go ahead and set. Okay, so we do have the correct fuel, 7262, correct payload when added up, and the zero fuel weight is now, make sure that didn't get all screwed up, 57,406, and that's correct too. 28.7, and we'll be up 0.3 on our trim. Okay, so that takes care of the EFB menu. Let's move on and get our APU cranking up. Okay, to do that, we're going to just go right up to the overhead. And you can see the fire test worked good. So now we're going to come back down. This way I can check two things at once, kind of. Okay, so turn the master switch on for the APU. What we're watching for down here is flap open. It's doing some tests while it's doing this, levels and all, as the flap itself is opening in the back. Once it's open, it'll tell us. See, flap open. Now with the flap open, let's click the APU button right below it. And that'll take a few seconds to spool up, but once it is, we'll see APU available here and here, as well as where we see on at the bottom, it'll switch over to available. And that's when we can click the bleed and then kill our external power. Now, many airlines may leave that APU off until they're ready to start, saving fuel. is the name of the game. So just so you're all aware of that. And it looks like we may be available. Yes, we are. I see it there, there, and I saw it up top. So we're going to go ahead though and start running the bleed air in to start getting the passengers comfortable. And we're going to set the signs on since we are in the process of fueling. Again, the only lights we need on right now are the nav logos, and that just enunciates out there that one, we got power, and that's it. So people, and at night lets people see our wingtips a little easier. So that concludes the preliminary power up, cockpit prep, EFB menu, and APU start. So let's now move into the actual pre-flights. And what we're going to be doing is our flows here, where we go up this side, come back down, go up this side, come back down, go up this side. That's the upper panel. So let's do that. First thing, we're going to click the off button here for the, cruise supply. There is a test here, but it does not work in Flight Factor for the cockpit voice recorder. Next up, as we go up, we can't get these unlit until we're aligned. So we're going to align IR1. We're going to see align and then on bat. When on bat goes out, we'll do number 2. Number 2 is all the way over to the right. And I don't know if you could do 3 first, then 2. I don't know. Not an Airbus pilot, folks. Cessnas, Pipers, and Beechcrafts are about as high up in the food chain as I ever got, and we didn't have inertial nav systems. God help us if we did. Okay, and the last one's aligning. It's on bat, and on bat is off. Okay, so we'll come back down to the bottom now. Okay, strobe lights we'll put on auto. Seatbelts are on. No smoking is, well, seatbelts are on auto. We'll flip it to on once the passengers start boarding. Emergency lights, we want those armed. Landing elevation, that's this lever. Make sure it's in the 12 o'clock position or auto. Looks the same. Fuel pumps, let's bring those bad guys on. Okay, in between these are automatic. Your anti-ice, your packs are already on. Again, remember, unless it says off, they are on. Click these guys over here for our cargo heat. Okay, and as we continue up, next thing after the fuel pumps, we do our engine fire check. And if you are new to the channel, you know I'm looking for information on how to be able to check this elsewhere on the panels. If you're new to the channel, you don't know, but I am looking for how to check my APU fire checks, because there are checks down on the pedestal and in the center console. Okay, next up we come up this side, and again we've already turned on our cargo heat and set it to 12 o'clock. And VFR or VHF3 radio is turned on. Okay, that concludes the upper panel. Let's hit the middle panel, and let's first off get our, well, let's see, does it ask? First we're going to get the anti-skid, make sure it is in the on position. The FMCs, which why they call them that I don't know, they're on. No idea why they call them that. And radios 1 and 2 are set. So what we're going to do, dial up 2295. Oh, we're going the long way. Okay, and that is our common traffic frequency both here and at lobby. And then we'll get the universal guard channel on 121.50. Okay, so we have unicoms on both sides, which we won't be using VOR2 or VHF2. We also have the air frequency POSCON wants us on when we're in the air, 123.45, and guard over on VHF2. Okay, then we have not received a squawk code yet, but let me make sure I did not miss it. Interesting. I'm wondering. Oh, so now we're late. Oh, I bet that's why. All right, well, we're okay. We're gonna just press on, but what we are gonna do is clear up, put 2000, and put it on TA. Okay, so that takes care of the main panel. That now moves us to the next phase, which is setting the MCDU. And that is these guys. So the first thing we have to do is verify our engine and nav data. And then we're going to go to the initialization page, KVPS/KHOU. Okay, flight number, we'll call it AAY 1911. I don't know if that's the right one or not, but it is for this flight. Cost index, I believe 53. Cost index 53, and we're going up to 36. Okay, so we're going to do an initialization, on ref, confirm. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do like they say, go to return, then go this way. Wait request 574287. Stand by while I did it again. Okay, and I'm just going to slide this over enough to be able to read. 57.4, 28.7, 7.3. Okay, so those all match up. Okay, so now they want us to go to the perf page. I go to the flight plan page. So we're departing. Oops, there's our GPS primaries letting us know that our GPSs are aligned. Now if we look up top, see those fault lights are gone. Okay, back down to the MCDU. So we're VPS, departure, 30, and we'll put that in. There is no departure out of here, folks. As much as we'd like it, there is none. All right. Now, from here, let's just plug away. And just so I have a cheat sheet, oh, there it is, real easy right there. Okay, so we're going to CEW. Next up, LOX, LOXLY. And I did it wrong. LOXLY. There it goes. I must have typed something wrong. ROMMY. HRV. off. I think our final fix is coming up KC. KC triple E. Okay. All right, so we got our route in. So now let's put in our arrival runway, which is the ILS to runway 4 on the bay. There it is. KC Trans. Holy crap. Okay, what I'm going to do. All right, this will hopefully make it easier. So let's go ahead and start stepping through. And I know you real Airbus pilots wish you could do that. All right. So there we are at VPS. Okay. Okay, there we go. Get that one taken care of. Let's go ahead and firm that up. So we're at KC now. Oop. Then we go to slice. Gear. We'll have to kind of watch what's coming. As you can see what we have ahead of us. Okay, so we'll be there and there. It's kind of weird. And Houston 4. Okay, so everything looks good. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Didn't want to cough in your ears. So we're resetting back up to here like we should. Continuing on. So we've got our flight plan put in. Now we just got to do our preference. And what we're going to do is pull up a page here. Spyflight gave me this. He says it's for really a different simulator, but it works good here. So CFM metric KVPS. Let's grab the METAR. Okay, and we're going to be doing a 1F departure, Paxon, anti-ice off dry runway. All right, so kilograms. 57,406. Mach 327.3. Okay, and that's the same number. Let's calculate. Okay, so we're looking at a flex of 61 degrees. I forgot what this one is. And then our speeds are 150, 150, 154. What we came up with in Professional Flight Planner was 148, 153, 153, and that was old. So we're going to update, get new weather in here, run a calculate. $153 across the board. Let me just pull up my acres. Okay, so I got to update my weather. Hang on a second. All right, just need 30. Yeah, because now we're showing light rain and 299er2. Still 153, so we're good. Okay, and that's going to leave us, by the way, about 16, wow, about 162 feet. This could be fun on a 12,000 foot runway. We'll see. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Close, close. I'm doing a recalc here real quick and then we'll get rolling. Wow. We're gonna see if that's what we're doing. A flex 61 1F. Should have about 3,000 feet of runway. Thank goodness. I thought for certain we were going to use the whole runway. All right, and I just want to do this just to see. It's still not putting in that information. Huh. Oh well. So we got that all loaded up. All right, folks. So let's get back up here to the MCDU. And let's start plugging in information. So we're going to do a flaps 1/U P 0.3. I say cautiously 0.3. Okay, that goes here. 6.1. 18,000 is in the box here. And again, we're gonna run 505054. 154. And I don't know what this TO shift is, so and then we're going to also, while we're here, just make sure we're at 18,000. Okay. Okay, so that wraps up, folks, the prep of the MCDU. All we have left is getting the flight control unit set up, or better known as the autopilot. QNH set. It's now 299er2. Our FD is on. Nav select is on arc at 20. Don't want that. Put that back. Actually didn't know that would come out. And range auto throttle will come on when we start rolling. We're going to 36,000. And we'll set this one the same way, 299er2. And altimeter set, or altitude set for 36. Folks, that wraps up the flight control unit. We are right at our pushback time. Let's do our departure brief and then we're going to get rolling. So what I need to do is first come over here. Let's get these service trucks all out of here. Remove. And you can tell they're gone on here by looking at it. Click fuel to remove the fuel truck. We're going to hold the door open momentarily till we get the departure brief done, then we'll get it closed. Looking outside. Chocks are still in place. Electrical power is still hooked up, which is fine. And everything else is gone. So back into cockpit. Departure brief. It's very straightforward, very simple. Airport. Okay, let me zoom in where we're first off. Here's the frequencies if we have ATC. We're located here. We're going to push back facing south. Take D1 to hotel, to Victor, to Golf, and then we're going to get on the runway. That's our departure brief, folks. We don't have a SID out of here. So that kind of wraps that up pretty simply. And again, we all know the V speeds, they are. And let me get that pulled up here real quick, since you all didn't see that on the screen. V1's 150, rotate 150, V2 154. We're going to flap 1 Fox and trim up 0.3. Okay, so let's go ahead, call our tug.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I'll just go like this.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is wrapping up.
Okay, so let's get over here and get that passenger door closed. Okay. Perf data up. Let's take a look at our weather. Again, looks like it's still pushed off and disintegrating, which is good. Here comes the tug out of the building. And one thing I forgot to pull. I think I turned that off without turning it off up there. Dang it. Oh well. I know you Airbus guys are going, that's bad. But it's a flight sim. It can take abuse. Hopefully.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, let's kind of watch. All right, so pushback. While she's doing that, I am going to do what I have to do. Okay, and ACARS is running. All doors closed. Okay, fuel trucks away. PAX doors are closed. Cargo doors are closed. And we're going to go to perf data. All right, beacons on.
Tow connected and
right
bypass
one this
pin
time.
inserted. Release parking brake.
Beacons are on. Tow vehicle's been called and attached. And it is time to push back, ladies and gentlemen.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
And we're going to push a little bit before we start them up. Again, we're going to face south, and then we'll be ready to go. So what we need to do here is first get our engine mode selector to start. Okay, let's see how far back we've gone. All right, we can go ahead and start turning the engines on. To do so, the checklist calls for us 2, 1. So that's how we're going to start up, 2 and 1. So engine number 2 to on. You can see the numbers building here. Oil quantity's good. Oil pressure, I believe, no, that's air pressure coming up. And what we're going to be watching for, Up here you see how the N2 is grayed. That lets us know we're spooling. We'll get an avail light. I think it's up in the N1, but it may be right below it when everything's ready. Oh, and to make sure you're transmitting, make sure here on COM 1, right above your lever or volume, that you turn that on. Otherwise, you won't transmit. There's our avail light. So technically, we could start in on number 2. She's almost done, so we'll wait. There we are, pushback.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, and with her disconnecting, we'll go ahead and crank up number 1. That way you can see them side by side. See how they're building up? And we got a light off. Okay, folks, and just so you all know, for the future, I will try to be more prepared to go into a second flight than I was today. My apologies for that, but get our seatbelt lights on.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
And thanks for flying with Mike there, pushback. And you saw the avail light. Just getting rid of them. Okay, so we're going to be watching for the pin over here. And there's the pin. And so they know we saw it. Oops, wrong side of the light panel. All right, so they'll go away. I'm just getting this. Yeah, we'll leave it on perf. We're going to switch you over to METARs. I'm sorry, to weather. Okay, so continuing our checklist after takeoff, we have, I'm sorry, after start. So our engines are warmed up. We're going to turn our master switch select knob here to normal, APU to off, turning our bleed off as well, and the packs 1 and 2, they are showing on. Okay, taxi checklist. Oh, wait a minute, before taxi, my bad. We need to turn the brake fans on. We need nav logo lights are already on. Auto brakes set to max. Weather radar. Go ahead and turn that sucker on now. We'll go to 2 this time. And spoilers, a little further down, we just want to make sure we arm. That's the white showing. Flaps to 1. Parking brake is still set. And then we're going to taxi to the runway. And they're set to 1F now. All right, so Eglin traffic, MACAIR 572 at the passenger terminal, taxiing to runway 30 via Alpha. I think it was Alpha. Correction, that taxi will be by hotel. Okay, here we go, folks. Parking brakes off. Now, during the taxi, we're going to do, as the guy that I've been following a lot on this plane, we're going to do the test to make sure the Airbus passes. Let's make sure we don't have anything down here that we need to complete. Any ice, flight controls, we need to check those. Okay. All right. And we need to get our trim set. Okay. Oh, and I didn't hit the disconnect. That's okay. We know the rudder's working now. Okay. Taxi lights on. All right, here we come out of the gate here. The surfaces have been checked. We'll do another check at the end of the runway if I remember. And it's something new I'm trying to figure out how better to use. And we'll be chatting with you as we get to the end of the runway. All right, folks, we're back at the end of the runway. We're coming up, so let's do a before takeoff checklist. Basically, the takeoff was checked. We're going to start slowing up here. Okay, so takeoff check config was good. You can look down on the ACAM here and see that it's normal. Cabin is ready. That's right here. And all we got to do is our runway at runway holding. Packs are going to stay on. We're going to turn the landing lights on the runway. And switching into TARA on our transponder.
Approaching runways.
Oh, that doesn't tell me. Okay, so we're easing it up here. Eglin traffic, MACAIR 572, taking runway 30 for departure. Okay, once we get on the runway, we'll set our brakes. Let y'all get a look here. I will try to get an outside view here of takeoff, but I'm always so wrapped up into it, I never get that chance. Okay, parking brakes are set. Let's make sure MACAIR is recording. And it is. Okay, again, real quick recap. take off. V1 150, rotate 150, V2 154, flap 1, trims got to be moved up to 3, 0.3 I should say. So pull that out. Makes it so much easier. 2, 3. Okay. Oh, got to get rid of it. Okay.
On runway 30.
So we're
on
set.
runway 30.
Right, so we're going to bring the throttles up to 50%, and then we're going to go to a managed departure. By doing this, what we're going to do is bring these guys up to 50% N1, and then once we're there, we're going to move it right up till it says flex, and away we go. Landing lights on. Strobes on, wing lights on. Okay, we are cleared for takeoff. So here we go, 50%. There we go, folks. And he said we're supposed to pull the nose off at about a degree, every 3 seconds a degree, or a degree a second. We'll do our best not to hit the tail.
V1, rotate.
I think I came off too fast. Positive rate, gear up. And we just fly the director now. And MACAIR 375 copies direct CEW.
Gear up.
Okay, and we'll just use the autopilot from here. Okay. Even though it's flashing, it doesn't mean it's just telling me I need to. Let's make sure we get on our course. We're into the clouds. Okay, so after takeoff, gear is up, 3 green unlit, brake fans can go off. Flaps are coming up. And once we get on course, then I'll bring it into climb. Sorry I didn't get you a takeoff shot, but we did the best we can. Okay, we're leveling off. Throttle climb. Here we go. Manage climb to 36,000. Okay, ground spoilers are still armed. Get those turned off now. And there we go. We are now climbing out, folks. So let's go through the after takeoff here. So AP's on, packs 1 and 2 are on. Our thrust levels are in climb. Nose light does not go off. We'll just keep them on to 10,000. Flaps are at 0 and confirmed on the ECAMs, ACAMs, whatever it's called. See, flaps are 0, spoilers disarmed, brake fan. Again, it's right here next to your landing gear lights. Okay, once we get to 10,000, we got a couple more things to do. So enjoy the ride, folks. And as always, thanks for flying with Mike. All Right, looking at this, I'm starting to see a blob over here near Texas. I think we're okay, but we'll have to kind of watch that.
10,000 feet.
Okay, 10,000 foot check. We turned the lights off. So we'll just scroll up to here. Runway lights off. Landing lights off, takeoff lights off. We'll leave the wing lights on for now. And let me get up here so I turn the right one. Let's go ahead and let them have fun with their electronic devices so the kids don't get so rowdy back there. And we are on our way. We'll keep the anti-ice off. I'm pretty sure we're not near 0 degrees. And the barrow will go to standard once we clear 18,000. So for now, thanks for flying with Mike. MACAIR is showing us climbing on the ACARs, and we are 6 miles from Charlie Echo Whiskey, and then we turn on course. So enjoy the ride, folks. And like I said earlier, thanks for flying with Mike. We'll let the music run here for a little bit. We'll get up and then do our arrival brief here in a few, and that way we'll be ready to come in. And if you've seen anything I've done wrong, need to change, need to pay attention to more, by all means, use that chat, let me know. Join our Discord channel. Let us all know, because I am very green to the Airbus, and I'm always here to learn. All right, we're on course. Going to switch up to 40. And we're just pushing on at 15,000 feet for 18,000.
Eighteen thousand feet.
Okay, and with the 18,000 foot call, let's go to standard. And we'll do a cabin check here. 23 in the cockpit, 25, which for those of us up here, 25 is 77 degrees in the back of the plane, probably around 70 to 74 in the cockpit. So we're a little cooler up here. All right, so we are climbing away. I'm going to do a quick systems check here. Engines look good. Bleeds look good. Pressurization is coming up. Electrical mechanical system is switched over. Hydraulics is good. Fuel looking good. APU is off and the bleed is off. There's the cabin again. Doors better be all closed. Wheels are up and in the bays. Surfaces look good. And let's do a status. Recall, clear. Recall, status, clear. Back to our cruise page. All looks good, folks. So we are on our way. Let me just make sure we didn't miss any lights. Nope. And everything looks good on the top panel. We are on our way, folks. Let's take a look outside the plane. All right, just getting some outside pictures here. All right, so we are now headed out through 23,000 feet. So folks, I hope you enjoy the flight. If you do, click follow. You'll get a chance when we go live. Hopefully I won't hit you with 2 emails like I did today. Hopefully I'll be able to do this more seamlessly within a stream to go to the second flight. There's some things on my end I got to do, but I'm learning how to get this second flight going. Hopefully I'll be able, like I said, do it seamlessly while we're in the first stream and just keep moving on. So for now, folks, I'm going to just kind of sit back on the side. If you got anything you'd like to chat about, talk about, or just say, hey, I'm going to be right here. So thanks for flying with Mike, and we'll see you at top of climb. That's kind of funny. Looks like we might have just finally got a squawk code. Let's take a look. We sure, oh no. Oh, contact Houston 134425. 134425. All right, so I'm kind of glad I turned the music off. What is it again? Dang it. 134425. Okay, so let me move over here. One 134425. 134425. Just making sure I've got everything dialed in. Houston Center, MACAIR 572s with you. We're climbing through flight level 267 for flight level 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360. 360.
MACAIR 572 Eastern Center, Howdy, reset transponder squawk 4545.
Roger 4540. Roger 4545. MACAIR 572 on the squawk. He didn't say ident, so we won't ident. But yeah, folks, we are now with ATC on POSCON, crossing Loxley. I think from now on I'm going to also include that we're streaming. Okay.
Yeah, MACAIR 572, I apologize. Reset transponder squawk 2754 now.
Roger, recycling the 2754 for MACAIR 572.
And MACAIR 572, I got your radar contact approximately 15 miles east of the semis for tackle at flight level 290.
Sounds good to me. All right, so let's see here. Let's go to 40. We are. Let me update my notes with this. So we're 2754, still with Houston. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and resume the music, but just keeping it at a little bit lower than we normally do, folks. Just because I want to be able to make sure I hear him calling, because something tells me I'm going to get a runway change. Okay, so we are looking at runway 4. And we're going to go ahead and kick off the seatbelt lights.
MACAIR 572, clear direct Harvey, board tax, I'm maintaining level 360.
Understand, cleared direct Harvey, HRV, Vortec, and continue to flight level 360. He's gonna test me. Oh wait, this is where I use direct. It's only testing me because I don't know the airplane well enough. We are now direct and making slight course correction as we continue up. Oh, let's see. According to the MCDUs, we have 32 miles to the top of climb, I believe. Outside the plane we go. Normally I would turn off the wing light if we were at night, mainly so people could sleep. But we're not at night, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Oh, what the heck. Wing light coming off. All right, so top of climb now. Shows in at about 20 miles or so ahead of us. Let's see if I was reading that right. It looks like I was. Good deal. All right, so we are pushing our way through. We're just gonna let her slide around here nice and slow for y'all. So you can get a good view of the Allegiant A320 November 244 November Victor. Okay, so looking at Sim Toolkit here, you can kind of see where we are. KC is where we initial into the Houston area. So we got still a little bit of a traverse here. We are on with ATC, so hopefully things will go capiche with them as well. Pulling up nav graph. Okay, so here we are coming into HRV, Harvey VOR. And for the arrival brief, the Bay 3 arrival. Okay, so we are currently with the ATC. They're on 134.425. We're coming in over KCEE. And then our procedure, radars, okay, first off, transition levels 18,000, radars required, RNAVs required, DME, IRU, we have all of this. Speed restrictions below 10, descend via Mach number until intercepting 280, maintain 280 until slowed by star. So that'll be somewhere around FRDDY. Okay, so that's important to know. Backing it out a little, here's our routing instructions. And again, let's get a quick METAR update here in the chat room. Oh. Okay, so we're still showing 113. We're kind of 70 on both sides, so we're still okay for the fours. We'll see what he actually runs us in on. Yeah. Scattered 2,100 feet, overcast 3,300 feet. That's fine. 10 miles visibility, and it's 22 degrees there. All right, so we're good to go there. So looking here, we're going to still plan. Hang on, let's take a look at the airport. Fours. Where the heck is the 17? I think I'm losing it here, guys. Hang on a second. Yeah, show 17 and 22. Where are they at? Okay, so we're either going to be on the 13s. Which technically I am still on the longest runway. I have no idea where these 17s are. Is there like a water runway nearby? Oh, anyway, let's see. $6,000 long. Huh. It's got to be this, and it's closed. Huh, interesting. We're going to stay with the 4s since that's what SimBrief gave us. So, for runway 4, what we're going to do, and it's just basically a simple change from FIG at FIG, where we'll be at 6,000, 7,000. Okay, so runway 4 is, we're going to fly basically bay to pucks. So from here to here, then track to FRDDY, then FIGGG, then SHUG, MR, and then expect vectors to runway 4. So again, that looks like this. This is what's planned right now. This may all be shot to heck in a hembasket if he switches me to the 13s, which will then send us up from pucks to FRDDY to FIG, then Ivy, Villy, Ally.
MACAIR 0572, radar flight is acting a little weird. Can you reset transponders flux 5657 now?
Okay, we'll set 5657 in the box. MACAIR 572.
Thank you.
5657. Switch that on. Go all. Let's just see if maybe it's on my end he's having troubles. But anyway. So again, going back through its pucks, FRDDY, FIGGG, Ivy, Villy, Ally. Then we're going to expect vectors to the final approach course. And again, from the FIGGG, we're going to be between 6,000 and 7,000. We're going to track out to Ally and then work our way in on these runways. Again, we'll see what happens. I'm set up for runway 4, so hopefully that's what we'll take. As long as these winds hang where they're at, we'll be okay, but I got a feeling he's going to switch us. So, and if he does, let's go through the altitude constraints here. So from KC to slice to gear, we're descending to shuttle. Now at bay, we need to be above 17,000 but below 20. Pucks above 10, below 14. All of those at 280. Then FRDDY, we slow to 240 and be above 8, below 10,000. FIG, 7,000, 6,000. And then we'll either be at 6,000 at SHUG or Ivy, 6,000 to 10. And then we'll fly the approach. Currently, runway 4. Let me, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up just in case, so I'm ready to go. There we go. All right. So looking this over, localizers 109.9, final approach 41 degrees, SA, which is 5.8 nautical miles from our 109.9 I-hub for the localizer, and we got to be at 1,500 feet or on the glide slope. If either of those two are not met, we missed approach immediately. Descent altitude or decision is 244, and airport elevations 46 feet and a touchdown zone of 44 feet. All right, so looking at our course here real quick, we'll be coming up basically this way and somewhere in here told to turn in for the arrival. Now, if we go missed, it's climbed to 1,500 feet, then into a right-hand turn to 3,000 and out to the Mike Hotel Fox, VOR, which is 113.6 on the VOR at Trinity is the name. We'll hold, and that's until told otherwise. All right, so again, we're going to come in. Cargo is 15 out, but we could be told to turn in earlier. And we'll be set up with the ILS on this one. Might be the first one I've actually shot in the flight factor. But anyway, we're going to be looking for runway 4, the approach lighting sequence flash 2 lights, 1,500 feet, and again, pictorially what we're doing. Minimum straight in approach 244. We'll have that in the box. And RVR has to be 18 or a half mile. So we're good to go either way. Sometimes I wish it would tell me what being out is.
Mac 572, how's your ride?
I'm sorry, what was that for Mac 572? Houston Center, MACAIR 572. Didn't catch that.
MACAIR 572, just asking how your ride was.
Smooth. We're above the clouds at this point.
Cool, appreciate it.
Turn him up a little bit more. We're going to kick the music down a little because it might be getting a little congested here as we draw closer to KC. And we're 125 miles out. Okay, so we've pretty much been through the entire descent brief. Oh, here it is. RVR 18 with flight director or autopilot or HUD. If these aren't on, then we have an RVR 24. Okay, it was below. That's why I didn't see it. So there you go, folks. That's what we're expecting is runway 4. I do have the information if he switches us. So, but I think descent-wise, everything will still work out the same. It's just we'll have to set up for a different approach. Okay, so let me pull, and then once we're on the ground, I didn't look up our flight, but I think well, I'll look it up right now. Let me do a quick flight aware check. I was close. It was actually 1914, and they go to gate 29. Or they did on whatever flight I just looked up. Gate 29 will be... Okay, so gate 29 is what we're going to look for. All right, and that is, folks, that's going to be the wrap on it. The only other thing we need is our V speed. According to Professional Flight Planner, we're going to be on a dry runway, so that's got to change. 131 is our VREF 136. That we need to update. Now we're showing 080 at 13. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what we end up getting selected on. Still the same numbers. Okay, so all right, folks, and let's get back up into the air as we drift in closer. Actually, let's get back into cockpit. Okay, so as we look at our, we are in managed cruise, 106 miles out. Our next checklist starts at 20 nautical miles from top of descent. And we'll start plugging things in here around 50. So hopefully all will go as we want, and we'll get runway 4. and it's a piece of cake. Otherwise, we'll do the best we can to get corrected. So relax, enjoy. The fun part is yet to come, about 100 miles out. And I think what we'll do is we'll put in one more song here, folks, and then we'll pretty much call the music or even turn it down lower. So enjoy the song. And for those of you curious, MACAIR is showing us at about 29 minutes out. And Sim Toolkit. Well, let's get that overlay back in. About 29 minutes as well. So enjoy the ride, folks. And pardon me there, folks. And again, folks, if you have any questions or corrections for Captain Mike here, let me know. Definitely not an Airbus aficionado of information. Fill me in on what I did wrong, what I need to change, and I'll be glad to make changes for the next flight. If we're too loud on the music, let me know, because it will be turned off here soon, so I don't miss ATC calls. But we thank you for flying with Mike. If you like the broadcast, click follow. What that does is gives you, anytime I click live start streaming, you'll get an email letting you know that we're flying somewhere. Next up is Gibraltar to Innsbruck in the Airbus. That was scheduled for Saturday. That's going to be put on hold. Not sure when that flight will be rescheduled, but that's coming soon. Something's come up and we have to postpone Saturday, so no big deal though. But that's partly why I wanted to get this second flight in as well. There'd have been no way to fly from Gibraltar to Innsbruck with the time I have today. This one's even right on the edge of what I would have liked to have flown, but we're giving it a try at least. But folks, click follow. You'll get that email, lets you know, as long as you have notifications on, we're flying between point A and point B, and sometimes it tells you what airplane. Sometimes I leave it as a teaser. So, and sometimes I forget to change it and we're going somewhere completely different than what the email told you. I did that on the first flight. So relax, as I'm trying to. The weather looks pretty decent into Hobby, and we'll be there in about 20 minutes or so, or at least on our way down. Plan on about 45 minutes for sure. We should be on the ground. All right, folks, so relax, enjoy. Feel free to walk about the cabin. We'll turn the seatbelt sign on when it's time. Thanks for flying with Mike. All right, folks. Well, we're now about 50 miles out. The MCDU here is yelling at me to put in my data, so that's what we're going to do. So, real quickly here for both of us to see. Hopefully. There we go. And we're 080 at 13. So let's get in here and start plugging the numbers in. QNH. We're looking at 2987 right now. Temperature 22. Winds 080. Diagonal 13. And the MDA, I believe, was 226 for the arrival, 244. DA, glad I double checked. And we are coming in full. Okay, so performance, we're in cruise. So we're gonna kind of curb the music here for a little bit as we close in on descent. Now I want to make sure he didn't abandon us. This is what happens on VATSIM quite a bit. Okay, good. We're still on center. Got 4,000 pounds or kilograms of fuel. Okay, so we're 20 miles out. We got the QNH preference set up on the approach page. ILS frequency button, check. That is something I don't normally have to do, so hang on a second. iHub 1099. 1099, and it's on a 41 degree heading. Perfect. We'll turn the seatbelt signs on here shortly, and altimeter setting or altitude setting of 6,000 here shortly. Weather looks, looking at our stuff here, it's going to go north of us, so what we may get to see it. And once we get to 20, I'll make the call to get us allowed to descend. And Houston Center, MACAIR 572 with a request.
MACAIR 572, pass your request.
MACAIR 572 would like to start our descent here into Houston. We're planned for runway 4.
MACAIR 572, roger. Stand by the base re-arrival. I'll be landing runway 4, altimeter 2987.
Copy. Planned runway 4. We'll start our descent now. MACAIR 572, thanks. Okay, and there we go. We're in descent phase. And we'll see if it does the 280. That's something I did not check. We're in managed, okay. Everything's looking good outside the aircraft, set up for ILS 4 as you can see on the nav display. Okay, so the star was set to 6,000, dots on. We set the started the descent with the hopefully the appropriate click of the MCDU of the flight control unit. So we're good now to 18,000 feet. So, and again, we like to thank you for flying with Mike. We are flying with Millennium Aviation Company. That's the airline we belong to for this flight. We've got a charter flight set up to go to Houston lobby. And from there, we'll find another destination with Allegiant to go to. But next up, I'm not sure what flight we'll be flying. But if you go to our Twitch page, which we got to update here since Saturday's flight has been postponed for the time being, we'll either go somewhere else soon or maybe our Wednesday flight, which will be the return of flying Alaskan Bush, meaning we're going to be flying for Millennium Aviation on a tour that's going to take us into Alaska on the northern half of the state, starting from Wainwright, working ourselves around to a Nuvik Pass, and ending up in, I forget, Mountain Village or something like that. And then there's a third leg we'll do, a third set of flights that'll take us down into southeastern Alaska. So we'll be continuing that next week. That could be put on hold as well. We'll see how things at work translate out. We're still a little bit out. But that's what we've got on the schedule for now. We will return to the Gibraltar to Innsbruck run. That's an around the world flight we've been doing in a variety of aircraft. Started in the MD-80, transitioned to Zibo, transitioned to the Sparks 43 747. Flown a couple flights now in the Airbus with it, as we're now about halfway across the world. So we're working our way. And the Innsbruck flight will also tie in with some of the challenging approaches we do, because I've heard that one's a little tricky coming into Innsbruck. I don't know if it's on the official list that I've got, but we'll see. So, but anyway, that gives you kind of a little teaser of what we have coming here in the next few days, next few weeks. The Alaskan bush flying is 20 flights, I believe it is. So that'll take some time to get through before we get into the southern part of Alaska to finish it off. So, and we try to stream every one of those flights, and we're going to now begin to try to also take the flights from here and put them on YouTube and put them into their respective shows, so that way you can follow what you want to follow. But let's get back into the cockpit here. Our green dot is right where it needs to be on our descent as we pass through 30,000 feet. We are 17 out of gear. Let me switch over to the Bay 3 to see where that puts us. Okay, so we're coming in. Oh, that was loud. I really hate when that thing does that. Gear to shuttle to Bay, and Bay is again 17,000 to 20,000, and we need to be at 280 knots. Okay, getting over here to look at our where we're at here. Okay, so we got landing next. Okay, so we don't need to look at our quick checks as we're descending in. Well, let's take a look outside. And again, we don't touch the throttles on this thing for the most part, folks. The only time we do is to land. And that's if we take over. If we auto land, it'll do it all for us, just like it would in a Boeing. We don't touch the throttles. They're set in level climb. That's what they come down in. All right, so there you can see the weather we're flying over. It is kind of cloudy along the coastline today. Kind of nose her over just a smidge as we work our way towards Lobby Airport. Let me just do a quick update here on my landing data. Still 080 at 13. Still 131 and 36. Okay. Now, one thing for those of you new to the Airbus, the Nav Plus logo, you see 1 and 2. Out on the wingtip, there's 3 lights in it. 2 nav lights, 1, 2, and then the strobe. That's set up so that you can switch between the nav light 1 and 2. So if one's burned out, actually you could flip to the other and you're not in an MEL situation. A lot of them just kind of rotate each flight, or each one flying, not flying, as to who's 1 and 2. You know, air crews have ingenious ways of using that switch. And what I'm going to try here, since we've got a second or two, let me see which one's closest. Ah, this one. Let's zoom in on that light. Kind of fun when we're in a sim we can do this. We come in a little tighter. Okay, you see we're lit up right here. That's your nav 2. So all it is just another light behind it. We don't light them both up. We light one or the other. Then, of course, you got the strobe behind it. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there while we got a few seconds here in the descent. Let you see that on the wing. And that's what that real pilot said. They just kind of flip it between pilot flying, pilot not. He's the one they flip it to if it's the captain, number 1, if it's the first officer, number 2, or some other convoluted way they come up with in a cockpit. They're pilots. You never know what they'll come up with. So, but again, get a few more looks here of the aircraft as we're coming down. We're about to pass transition. So we'll hear that through the ears so that we can make sure we set standard to our correct altimeter setting. And I am going to actually, oh, not on this one, get that updated METAR here just to make sure nothing's changed. Oops, KHOU.
18,000 feet.
And we're still 2987. Okay. Okay, so we are now with the QNH. Green dots in the middle. We are descending down. Our goal is to cross, per the arrival, SHUG 210 and 6,000 feet.
572, unfortunately, it looks like the ATIS for hobby isn't working. If you'd like, I can give you a METAR readout.
I've actually got a METAR of my own from my performance data, so I've got the weather.
You're passing 2, perfect, right?
Thanks for flying with Mike, Mr. Prepared, till you throw the curveball at me. All right, so there it is again. Hang on a second. I thought I turned that off. Dang it. No, I didn't. I'm a dummy. See, there's the curveball. Unreal Aviator. Nice to have you aboard. Thank you for the compliment on the calm explanations. I'm doing the best I can. I'm not an Airbus pilot. Actually, not a Boeing pilot, but I know a lot more about Boeing than I do Airbus. So, but we're trying our best to get her into Hobby Lobby today. Yes, that is the department store that's next door to everyone's homes, but you know, hey, what the heck. And we are going to cruise. Oh, and thanks for following us as well, Unreal Aviator. Appreciate the follow. Let me take a look. Yep, that blob is staying north of the airfield. Thank goodness. We've already had enough fun today with thunderstorms. Well, actually, we didn't fly in any, but there was a pretty good blob over Destin this morning that we came in on the backside of. All right, so just a quick familiarization here, folks. The magenta dot, that's our decel point, so that we can make sure we're at 240 by FRDDY, and then FIG, and then here's our 6,000 mark. Then we fly off on vectors till he tells us to turn. Again, VREF is 131, approach 136. Keep that up here a little bit, we'll blow it up. Make it a little easier on folks my age to be able to see better. Oh, that would have been nice if it stayed clear, but no. All right, again, you guys have the METAR there if you need it. All you got to do is hit the exclamation point METAR space, whatever ICAO code you want to use, just make sure it's in caps. That's the only thing I figured out with it. But 080 at 13, we're 10-mile visibility, and overcast at 3,600 feet. So it should be a pretty decent ride. I shouldn't have to go Cat 3. Okay, our next constraints will slow us to 240, which we are at. No, we're at 260, my bad. And here come the levers to idle. No, they're going to there. What we'll do is help them out. Speed brakes. And they're going to go off. Okay. So 10,000 will be the next call you hear, and that'll be when we turn the lights on. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back. Look at everything here, 2987. I'm just doing a quick update over here. Okay, still good. Crud. That was as of 53, so we got about 30 minutes till they may update the METAR. Hopefully we'll be on the ground by then. Sounds like she's finally caught up and starting to catch up on speeds.
Feet.
There's our call. Let's just see what we can see here. We got a really nice picture coming into Destin with thunderstorms. It was really a neat setup. Going up here to get the lights. Now, one thing, the Real Airbus pilot, V1 Simulations, I think, is his stream on YouTube. He was talking about a lot of the checklists and a lot of pilots don't turn on the nose gear lighting system, which is your nose gear or runway lights. That's all on the nose gear, by the way, until they're on the ground or just shy of the runway. When the gear door closed, he said, and the gears stowed, there's a micro switch that turns them off anyway, so it doesn't matter if they're on or off. So you can just leave them on till you get to the ground, and when they come out, the lights come on. Didn't know that, and I've got Airbuses landing every shift I work at Mid-America Airport from Allegiant. Didn't even know that. It's kind of neat, plus Boeing's, and I'm sure Boeing is the same way. Oh, nice little shift in the winds there. Okay, so we're coming up on 8,500 feet. Constraint is 6 to 7, so hopefully we'll drop in below 7. We got 7 miles to get below. Should. Actually, we're not going to get below 7. Just to make sure speed brakes are in, and they are.
MACAIR 572, descend. Sorry, MACAIR 572, descend across EMR and maintain 4,000.
What was the restriction at Elmar?
MACAIR 572, that's EMR, cross it and maintain 4,000.
Okay. EMAR at 4,000, MACAIR 572. Okay, we'll set that in here. Actually, we made it below 7,000. Wow. Okay, folks, so okay, we're slowed to 210. Hang on, I got to get down here and see my S speed. Perf. Okay, so we're getting close. Now I know I can go to 1. I'm going to zoom just to make sure. Flaps 1, 215. We are at 215. Let's make sure we continue down to 4. And we are.
MACAIR 572, so maintain 3,000.
MACAIR 572 understands. Descend and maintain 3,000. Okay, here come the vectors that we expected. And let's go ahead and punch out a little bit of drag. And what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and do this. Go ahead and pull those in. All right, so we are now QNH set, anti-ice, runway lights are on, landing lights are on, nose lights are on, AP mode. ILS. And auto brakes medium. Helps to hit the right buttons. And we'll begin deploying flaps. Flaps 1. See if it's going to kick out the back at all. Let's take a look out the other side. Slats are out. Sorry about that eye torture there.
Here, 572, turn right heading 310, back to final push course.
MACAIR 572 understands 210 for vectors. Okay, the rear slats have not come out yet.
MACAIR 572, turn right heading 010 now, vector final push course.
Okay, MACAIR 572 is 010 for vectors. Okay. Oh, it looks really turbulent there to our northwest. I do have the radar on, right? Switch it over to the other side. And take a look at how this goes. Got the localizer set up, and we'll go ahead and go into APR. What was it, METAR saying?
MACAIR
36.
572, approximately 5 miles from Elwyn, maintain 2000, still establish on the localizer, clear to ILS, runway 4 approach.
MACAIR 572 understands descend to
And
2000.
MACAIR 572, did you copy?
MACAIR, if I hit the right key, I hit the wrong one. We're cleared for the approach. We've just established the localizer descending to 2000.
Please, thanks.
Yeah, it always helps to hit the right key when you want to talk. All right.
I switched my push-to-talk key around not too long ago, so I definitely understand hitting the wrong
2500.
key.
Yeah, I was hitting the one I use for VATSIM, and that doesn't work on POSCON for some reason.
Oh, nice. You have different ones?
Yeah, I was using my control keys, and for some reason it won't take.
Huh, that's strange.
Okay, we're going to kick the gear out. Let's do the final checks. Brake fans on. Gears in transit. Let's go with another notch of flaps.
Gear down.
And center MACAIR 572's fully established runway 4.
MACAIR 572, wind 080 at 13, runway 4, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 4, MACAIR 572. And center, just for your information, we came out of the clouds at about 3,000, not 3,600 like the METAR we had.
And MACAIR 572, ready for 3,000, I'll pass that along.
Okay, we're now flaps full. Oh no, we're at flaps 3. We are to go full. So full configuration, slowing up. And you know what, as Spy Flight likes to say, autos had too much fun. My turn. Let's see if I can dig it into the runway here.
1,000.
Just kidding. Okay, final landing checks. Landing gears down, go around altitude set to 4,000. We've got the autopilots off and the airplane's ours. We're a little low on the glide slope, so we're going to nose up.
Approaching 0-4.
Give it just a little bit of power. Winds are showing 116 at 13, so now we'll ease over.
Five hundred.
Okay. Landing.
400. 300.
Again, got to try to get this as close to the end of the runway. We got
200.
7,000 to work with. Little low.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Ah, that was not a good landing. But we'll take it at 544.
MACAIR 572, welcome to Hobby, last one available.
MACAIR 572 copies. We'll be exiting. Can't see the taxiway yet. We'll be exiting at taxiway Charlie. Nice, we got airplanes in the gates here.
And MACAIR 572, Roger, SHUTDOWN, Charlie to the ramp. Good night, we appreciate the flight. Thanks for flying.
MACAIR 572 copies. We'll be parking at gate 29 or thereabouts. Thanks for the ATC. Have a great night.
You too, appreciate it, sir.
Okay. That was the flaps going up, spoilers disarmed, brake fans off. Nose light. Let's get our lights set. Strobes to auto. Transponder. Standby. Radar off. And let's hope we get into the right gate here. Actually, I think my gate's right there. So we'll just go right over here. Oh, there's gate 29 right in front of us. All right, folks, so welcome to lobby. It was a 544 foot a minute landing. It kind of caught me at the end there. I'm going to go ahead and turn off our taxi lights. Boy, if this is how they did this at real airports with these carts and all right up to the airplane, boy, there'd be a lot more accidents. You gotta love these guys. No, you don't. Okay, so we are in the blocks. Off frequency so we don't accidentally transmit. Again, landing lights, nose lights, flaps are 0 and agree. Spoilers are disarmed. Transponder is on standby. Weather radar is off. APU was not started yet. That's my bad. And once it starts, we'll get things going here. Waiting on flap open. Once we get flap open, we can start the APU. Okay, parking brake set, flap open. Starting the APU. Now we're just waiting for the avail. Let you all see outside. It's days like this I kind of wish I had animated jetways, but we're okay. 4. And we're coming available here momentarily. APU's available. Going up to get the bleed. Alright, APU is on. Throttles are idle. Seatbelt sign can come off. And we can turn engines 1 and 2 off. All right, aircraft's ground crews now. What I'm going to do here is head over to the service page, hit supply, go on ground power, hit the chocks, go to passenger, call a gate, which won't bring the jetway, but it will open the door. And let's get our baggage guys here. And there we go, folks. All I got to do is shut up. Oh, that I did not expect. Why is that there? There we go. We're in the blocks and... All right, so we are on the ground here. Hazard Stand 12, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the landing. Was a little rough, but you know, hey, it happens from time to time. More often than not with flying with Mike, but you know, hey. All right, so let's get the remainder of this turned off. Beacons off, wing lights off, strobes completely off. Go on external power, turn the bleeds off. And finally, fuel pumps. Fuel pumps are off. ADR's going off. And folks, we are in the blocks and shut down. We thank you for flying with Mike on this second flight. Doesn't happen often, but we thought we'd take advantage of it today and see if we could actually pull it off. We did. We got the second flight in. Won't be able to get things onto YouTube as quickly, or at least set up as quickly with highlights and all tonight. But We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to click follow. We thank Unreal Aviator for that earlier. That way, when we do go live, you'll get an email letting you know where we're flying to and maybe with what airplane we're flying with. But other than that, folks, let me hop outside the airplane. We'll go on this side this time. And there you are, folks. We're at Lobby Airport in Houston. And we hope you enjoyed the flight. And y'all have a great rest of your day. God bless. And we'll see you on our next flight.